my clothes in a duffel bag, and then I save all my suitcase space for the toys. But
We don't even know what the last figure is yet.
well, actually, we've got 2 more figures. We've got Cannonball, Scorponok, Defcon,
And Ferric.
Ferric. That's right. That's right. Yes. I keep forgetting Scorponok's actually in the box set. It's like he's not an add-on. He's actually part of the box set.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
That's.
I mean, it's not the first time that size scale. Well, actually, I guess considering that's an Ultra class toy.
That's probably the biggest in a box set ever.
Yeah.
That's.
Since they've been doing box sets.
Would Gigatron and Death Zarus be...
Were they in a box?
Yeah. Death Zarus was in the 05 box. That was their first set. The one that a lot of people don't... They give it a lot of hate, but I thought it was a pretty good set for them having 6 months to get something pulled together. Yeah, Gigatron would be about the same size, I think, as Scorponok.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, he's not as heavy.
Yeah.
Hey Brian, it looks like that review is probably about 2 or 3 weeks away now.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, speaking of reviews, I saw the. I haven't watched it yet. I think PL has a test, a production sample of that Citizen Stack. I definitely want to watch that and see what it looks like.
I'm waiting for the masterpiece.
Well, yeah. Well, no. I just want to have some idea of how the Citizen Stack, if it's all one combined unit, how it actually handles.
And rumor is that $280 price that Big Bad Toy Store put up for the masterpiece Ultra Magnus may not be correct. They may have just been throwing a price out there.
Oh, and then Joel said that in the past. That's just based on what similar pieces have run in the past, and when they actually get an actual price, they'll lower the price.
Right.
It's just something that the only time that's come back and bit them is when they were offering the Toy Nami Valkyries for Robotech, and then they came out with the armor cycles, and they were like $150 more than the Valkyries. It's like, hell, you never told us they were that much more. And Big Bad Supplier didn't tell them that. And it was like, well, you should have known. You've never done these before. How we're supposed to know? So basically, the pre-order price went from $99.99 to $279.99.
A little bit of a jump.
Just a slight jump.
Did everybody see Captain America?
It's
No.
awesome.
I have not hit it.
Saw it twice.
I saw Shield. I saw Shield last night.
Without watching Captain America first.
Well, I haven't had a chance to go. I'm getting the house ready for the contents for the auction.
Disappointed in you, Don.
I was having eye problems, so I was having a lot of pain. And then yesterday I got sent home from work because they were like, "Oh, if you're having eye problems, you might have pink eye." And I was like, "This isn't pink eye." And they were like, "That's you got to go home." I was like, "Okay, I'll go home."
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
see you later.
yeah, I know there was supposed to be some kind of spoilers in Shield for Captain America, but it seemed like it was fairly minor, just the way it was all glossed over. So, yeah, I want to. It's just, just haven't had a chance to with all I've got going on. I'm having to make 3 trips down to the house in the next 5 days on my days off, just to help try to get ready for that auction.
When's the auction supposed to be?
We're looking at the 8th or the 10th of May. There's like 5 auctions. The 10th, which is Saturday, and it's either if we move it to a Thursday, we'll have a better chance of having a bigger crowd than me being one of 5 auctions on a Saturday. So that's it's going to be a give or take. We're just trying to figure out the best way to do it. Plus, you also get a lot more people that actually would come for mom and dad's kind of stuff. So, anyway, and then the house is. I've signed the paperwork, and the house is going up for sale middle of the month once she gets pictures taken and everything up online.
So here's a good would you or have you ever taken a Transformer with you to dinner to play with?
What kind of dinner? That means
don't-
yes, but what kind of dinner?
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
someone I was talking to was
Hello.
just said that they've taken all sorts of Transformers to dinner with them to be like JB's or Denny's or just to be like said as big as Cybertron Supreme Starscream.
Okay, I wasn't going to do a topic this week, but that's a great idea. So it's not. It's the topic's not have you taken a Transformer to dinner. The topic is how big of a nerd are you? Because you have to be a pretty big nerd to do that.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
Wait, what did I miss?
The question was, have you ever taken a Transformer to like dinner? Not like not like accompanied one, but like if you ever brought a Transformer with you to like to a social event or something. So we're going to talk about how big of a nerd we are.
I was gonna say, what's the age limit?
That's going to be the topic when we start at for the show.
Well, I'll just say the only thing I've ever done outside of the norm is I've opened up new Transformers when I've been like in the bathrooms. If I couldn't find a magazine of something new.
Save it, Don.
Oh, that helped. I should bring Bumblebee in the bathroom more often. Got so frustrated it came right out.
Oh, it worked with smokescreen. I was trying. Okay, Chris, that's who you are. I was trying to remember who you were because I couldn't put a name with a face.
Sorry.
So you are you. You are who I thought you were. So that's good.
You are you.
So
I know exactly.
So Chris, not to step on any toes,
Mhm.
but before we had Bell to Bell, we were talking about spinning off our MMA / occasional Transformer, occasionally wrestling podcast, Inside the Cage to a wrestling podcast.
Mhm.
So we're going to do a special this weekend. The podcast was going to become the It's Still Real to Me, Damn It podcast.
Okay.
So we're going to do a special on the Warrior. So, FYI, I may end up putting that in your feed. Don't hate on me.
I won't hate on as much as you've been doing for us. I can't hate on you.
Yeah, that pro wrestling podcast, prowrestlingpodcast.com domain is just too good not to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just never got into wrestling. It wasn't something my dad watched. It wasn't something I ever watched. I think I watched Sergeant Slaughter wrestle for a few minutes one time, and that's only because he was in G.I. Joe.
Don, you lived in North Carolina. You lived in outside Greensboro, which was the wrestling capital of the earth in the 70s and 80s.
Indeed. Greensboro Coliseum.
Greensboro, North Carolina, F New York, F Connecticut. Greensboro,
No, Philly. Philly was where it's at.
no.
Philly was ECW town.
That was the 90s,
That was the
though.
90s.
Okay.
That was the 90s. That was the...
Forget that. Forget
And
that.
it's just, it's just, in the 70s and 80s, I was busy, with junior high and senior high and college.
Dude, you're the perfect age.
I just never got into it.
Greensboro, North Carolina is where all the greatest matches of all time took place.
Yeah.
I remember
Ric
watching.
Flair is from Charlotte.
Yeah, he's
Well,
from Minnesota, but he lives in Charlotte. But
Yeah.
Starrcade, Greensboro was Wrestling City, USA. In
Flair
the,
for
in
the
80s.
gold.
Yes. Oh my God, so many great matches happened there.
I just remember watching the Elvira movie and then turning it off when the wrestling came on. When Elvira used to have those terrible horror movies on Saturday afternoons.
I will admit, when I was a kid, I grew up here in North Carolina. I was a WWF mark, so I was not super huge into NWA, then later WCW. But if I had it to do over again, it would have been just awesome. But yeah, Warrior's dead, so that's going to be the topic of that special podcast this weekend.
And just
And
how
I
shocked-
remember watching WCW right when they were starting NWA, and with Hogan and Scott, Scott Hall, or
Hogan
Kevin
wasn't there.
Nash.
Hogan wasn't there. You mean the NWO?
NWO.
Because
NWO. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that was just an awesome time to be watching WCW.
It was amazing. In retrospect, it was garbage, but back then it was awesome.
I still have favorable memories of it.
Well, do I get any bonus credit for liking American Gladiators?
No.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, it came on right after Captain Power. So
American Gladiators was a shoot, not a work.
And that was Saturday morning, cartoons. That was what was right after Saturday morning when I watched it.
Well, actually, for me, it was right after. It was Captain Power, and the Soldiers of the Future. Then it was American Gladiators, and then it was Super Force, Superboy, the TV series. All those terrible '90s syndicated shows,
Oh, those were good times.
Do they still have Saturday morning cartoons like we used to have? I mean, now they have Cartoon
Nothing,
Network.
I don't think so.
nothing like it.
No, it's all what's on is all EI educational stuff, so the networks can get their educational requirements out of the way. But nothing like no Fox Kids.
Nope.
No Fox Kids. No One Saturday Morning, which was not that great at the time.
The closest thing that they have now is what they call Vortex, which is, I believe, on CW Network.
Yeah, that's where they dumped Digimon Fusion at some god awful time.
They had Digimon Fusion on there, Justice League Unlimited, reruns, Dragon Ball Z Kai, some Sonic.
And then there's
nothing.
there's
The newest thing is the Digimon Fusion, which are basically repeats of what's already on Nicktoons.
That's blah blah Digimon, right?
Yeah.
No, it's Digimon. It's the first season of Cross Wars. And here's the sad thing: as bad as Fusion is, with a good season of Cross Wars, I hate to even see what Boy Hunters, Who That Left Through Time, is going to be dubbed as. Oh God.
It's painful for me to watch.
Yeah, it's
Fusion.
Well, you've seen Cross Wars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's. And I really try to give a dub every benefit of the doubt. It's just... And I'm trying not to hold it to Tamers and Frontier. I'm really trying not to hold it to those two.
You can't. Because I literally just marathon Frontier.
I can't. I love Frontier. Frontier is my second favorite behind Tamers.
Yes.
But I just can't... I keep saying... Get...
Trust me, I understand the feeling. Not only do I have that same issue with Digimon, but I also have it with the current Power Rangers Super Mega Force.
It's a lot of people that's, and I am only recently when I got off of dial-up was I able to actually start watching all this stuff that I had missed for so many years because I was on dial-up. I was on dial-up for a while, and I started with Shikinger. Thanks to Paladin and Decade, because I thought, who is this Decade guy coming into Shinkinger? And that's when I started that. So I've not seen a lot of the Sentai stuff from pre-Shinkinger. But watching Gokaiger and then trying to watch Super Mega Force is like, no.
It's painful.
No, it's like... And then they use Die Ranger footage out of nowhere. It's like... You could have called them. These are the Alien Ranger super modes. No one would have ever known.
No, but see, there's a perfect explanation for that.
New powers?
No, there is no explanation.
No,
That's it. It's just nothing.
Oh, I gotcha.
There's a good reason for that.
I'm so glad you guys know what you're talking about, so that I can actually read the news stories that I compiled together for during lunch today.
Oh yeah, we should do that, shouldn't we?
Which I think they even could have gotten away with the Die Ranger suits, maybe, with a little bit of backstory. But where the hell did the Flashman suits come from?
It's
something.
Yeah, it's like just like these are special suits that I've been working on, or something. Just
Which I'm pretty sure it's just like a money saving thing, so they don't have to edit out all the footage from the Legend War.
But they went and had new footage made, and then won't cut out the footage that doesn't jive with the footage they had made.
But I mean that was so crowded. You would have
Yeah,
like
that's true.
there would be a suit in like every scene that you'd have to cut out. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I guess they had to leave them in. They could just explain.
Yeah, just
where they
something,
come
a quick blurb, three quick
Second.
sentence about something. But that's just kind of like a sign of,
Yeah,
lazy.
I think it's not that. I think it's that not that the suits are showing up. It's just a matter of you're not even bothering to do any kind of world building.
There's no explanation. Yeah, Gosei's like, oh, by the way, yeah, you can turn into powers that Rangers that nobody's ever seen before. Here you go.
And I will say I thought it was kind of funny when he asked why he was green and not black. Oh, there's a very good reason. And then the alarm starts. What is it, Fuzzy Butt? You've got food. You've got water. We had our walk.
Hey, Don, question for you
Yes, sir.
about cats.
Yes.
So, how
Do you
long?
want any?
No. So, the two cats that I inherited, it's been 2 weeks. One of them has yet to come out other than to eat while we're not here. Use the
Right.
bathroom. The other is, I mean, he's becoming friendlier, but he'll only come out like once or twice a day. How long
Right.
until Massey was comfortable being around, like in your apartment all the time?
Well, other than like a day or two transition period, with me going down to Mom's so much, he was kind of used to me going down at Mom's. I'd be this person that would show up. He and I would play a little while, and then I would leave, and then I'd come back again next week. So he was exposed to me over the course of a year and a half growing up. So when he came up here, it was just getting used to the new environment. What you might want to do, Brian, is get a laser pointer.
I've got
Sit
I've got a couple laser
Yeah.
pointers. One of which will completely and thoroughly blind the cat within milliseconds.
Well,
So-
don't shoot it at the cat. Let the
So, sit down on the floor and just, close to where the cat's hiding, and just sort of tease him with the laser pointer and see if he'll come out
That's
and
a good
chase
idea.
it. And then as he's chasing it, get a little closer to you and a little closer to you, and when he's finally chasing it, just try to pet him.
I have like a 75 milliwatt green laser. It will burn a hole in plastic. It's pretty great. In black plastic. But I don't want to use that.
Yeah, see?
I think the
Yeah,
cat's just scared of you.
All these people
Probably
are
what
here
it
just to
is.
see you.
Massey is
Right.
a superstar.
He is here. Everybody's here just to see you.
Everybody's here just to see you attack Dawn without warning.
That is pretty great.
Give him a good swat.
Oh, I actually need to read this one because I just saw it. Ooh, that's a neat headline. Let me look at it.
Is he not the prettiest cat?
The TFC Toys Star Dino Team is still happening. I wasn't aware of this.
Oh my god, that thing is
Me
horrible
neither.
looking.
I never saw any pictures of that. I remember a blurb and never.
It looks like something I'd find at Big Lots.
Ooh,
Yes.
That's. Oh, that's for the show in Japan, in China, or something that they were doing figures for.
Oh yeah, that totally looks like a Big Lots toy.
Yes. It's funny because if you look at the standalone figure, the Tyrannosaurus, it actually kind of reminds me of the original Power Rangers Tyrannosaurus.
So we have new photos, and apparently a review is out of Sound Mixer.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want to like it.
I kind of like the way they use the handle to make the heel.
It's so
kind of
small.
It's
that's kind of a good way to get rid of that handle without it just being folded up on the
it's
side.
he's smaller than the Cars, the deluxe size figures. Not that he should be any bigger, but he should be. Maybe he is on par, but the problem is he's so much smaller than Soundwave, which is kind of fun. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Which is funny
I-
because the original toys completely the other way around.
Yeah.
At least it's not quite as bad as G1 Optimus versus Motormaster. At least it's not quite that bad.
I don't think that I'd be so upset with the size if it wasn't at the price point it was at.
I didn't even,
I was
how
trying
much is
to.
it?
It's probably about $100.
I do like it that the cassette he comes with becomes his gun. I thought that was really interesting on how they did that.
Yeah,
And
it's-
that's because they couldn't do ram horn. And the cassettes are actually smaller than the regular cassettes.
Oh, so it won't work with the KFC cassettes or like the actual cassettes.
Right.
No.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
Well, now, is
That's
there
why
re-
he's just god awful too small. I was trying to explain this to someone on the other day. When I get a Voyager-sized figure, third-party figure for $100, and a Voyager-sized figure from Hasbro is $20-$30, I kind of feel cheated a little bit. When I get a masterpiece size figure for $150 to $200, when I pay roughly that to import an official figure,
He's $75.
I feel like I'm doing all right.
I don't hate it for $75.
I just, it's,
but I'm not in love with it for 75 either.
Exactly.
Good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you take it out to dinner, but you're not sure. Never mind.
That's true.
I'll meet it at the bar for a drink, but
I'll go Dutch to McDonald's with it, I guess.
Yeah, Blaster. It's weird. I think it's just how everybody has a personal attachment to some characters. It's like Blaster and Shockwave. That's why I didn't get Quakewave. As awesome as Quakewave looked, and as much as I wanted Shockwave, I just didn't really have a huge connection to those characters to want an updated figure.
Rhyme John is asking, are Transformers 4 figures available yet? In Canada, they are for sale if the store is broken street date.
Yeah, it's several WalMarts and other stores broke street date early.
What are these add-on pieces?
Yeah, Quakewave is a good figure. Everyone, when I started to get ready to take the plunge in the third party, everyone flat out told me that is the figure I needed to start off with.
Yeah.
I just put the batteries in him after a year of owning him. Boy, that battery in the head is probably one of the most frustrating experiences you will ever have with a Transformer. The arm was no problem. Popped in, but because they used a battery size smaller than is available in the United States, it took me about a half an hour to work that battery.
It's a non-standard battery.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's 2025 or 1025.
Wait, so it's like a watch battery.
But
well, actually, if
in the
it's
U.S. Go ahead.
if it's a 1025, there is a U.S. equivalent. Because we sold them at
Walmart.
Let me see. I have the batteries sitting here.
Yeah.
It's a 1025, and I think the official one was a 1020, but you can't get a 1020 in the U.S.
Yeah,
And I tried online too, and the 1025 is just a little bit bigger, but squeezing it in where the battery has to go is just a nightmare. And the wires are just kind of lightly soldered onto there, so it's very possible you could break a wire off, and
That sucks.
yeah.
But Quakewave is an impressive looking figure. It's just if I'm looking for a classic sort of an updated version of somebody, it's not going to be Shockwave. It's just
Because you're happy with the fellow Cybertron Shockwave, right?
no. I'm happy with my G1 Shockwave.
Yeah.
That I got at Zayre's for $24 on clearance.
There's rumors that people who designed this figure, or a person who designed it, may have possibly designed this figure, is the one that's doing another masterpiece that's coming out very soon that I'm very excited for.
I wonder what that one is.
Yeah, I have no clue on that one.
Yeah. Although apparently there was a problem at the factory, so it's delayed about 15 days, I think, was the official.
It's going to be canceled.
Yeah. No, I think it's too far along now.
Nothing's ever too far along.
Yeah.
So, Melvar saw Captain America. Chris, did you?
Damn right.
Oh, of course. I saw it opening day.
Yeah, I saw it Thursday. So did you like it?
Oh, loved it. The Captain America movies are definitely high in the Marvel Studio franchises for me. I hold the first Captain America over the Avengers, to be honest with you.
I hold it just under, but I hold it over the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
The
I'll
reason
agree with
why,
that.
the reason why for me, when you look at the star power that's in the Avenger movie versus what you're working with Captain America, and you incorporate the fact that it's a timepiece.
Oh, and all the stuff in the 40s was pitch perfect.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love Captain America. He's my favorite superhero. So I mean that, and the fact that I'm highly critical of movies. The fact that I like it and it's something that I hold so dear says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain America 2: Winter Soldier was even better.
Oh my goodness, and I'm a huge Winter Soldier fan.
I am not. This is only for the comic, but I hate beyond words the fact that they resurrected Bucky. It's lazy writing. Yes, I know. They went really far with it, but Ed Brubaker's one of those guys. It's like, oh yeah, let's do something like I'm writing Daredevil. Okay, Daredevil's no longer blind. Or Uncle Ben's alive. Uncle Ben's now the sidekick. That's lazy writing.
Now, see, I can't explain it, but I despise the fact that they resurrected Jason Todd. Like I don't read DC anymore, and that's one of the reasons why.
That happened in my lifetime.
But I'm strangely fine with Bucky.
I don't give a crap about Jason
That's
Todd.
interesting.
Jason Todd was killed in my lifetime. I remember it, so it doesn't really bother me. Bucky's death, his death quote.
He was in mine too. I mean, I still own the books. So Avengers
number 4 came out in what, 64 or Avengers 3, whichever one it was, when Captain America was resurrected and it's like Bucky, that didn't happen in your lifetime.
No, I'm talking about Jason Todd.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry.
Well, see, there used to be several sacred cows that you would not touch.
Bucky, Uncle Ben,
and Jason
Todd. Those
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy.
I'm sorry, and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and all of those have been touched
5,
in some way or way.
Yeah, those 5 are just about the only. Those are the ones that they're dead. Captain Marvel died of cancer. Gwen Stacy died on the bridge. They're dead. You just don't touch them. And they've all, except for Uncle Ben, to my knowledge. I only think Uncle Ben has not come back in the comics. I may be wrong, but they've all come back in some way. It's like, really, guys, you couldn't think of anything else, so you're doing this?
Well, I mean, the comic world is just as good as Hollywood.
Oh, I know. It's just me and comics have a long-standing grudge. I like something and they cancel it. That's
because you tend to like
the
underdog. I'll say.
I like the niche stuff. I know. Yes, Thunderstrike is not for everybody. I like it.
So I was talking to Chris Triplett about what I would love, I think, more than anything. If Marvel's doing that Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and is it niche? It's been a pretty big deal for Marvel for the last few years. It's not the Guardians of the Galaxy that I know, but I would love for them to do a Captain Marvel comic. No, not the current Captain Marvel. Janice Marvel, the one from the Peter David run.
Ooh.
I would kill for that. It's not going to happen, but
when he was in Young Avengers.
Was he?
Yeah, I believe that was him. Yeah, he was dating.
No, that was Novar.
Oh, that was Novar. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought they were the same person with just different names.
No.
No. Genus was actually Marvel's son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He had debuted in Avengers Forever back in
God, I thought I was the only person that liked Genus.
I love him. He's my favorite. Until they made him crazy. God, I hated that.
Then he ended up on the Thunderbolts for a while.
Yeah, when they had that thing where it's like there was a bet, the book that did the best didn't get canceled. Whatever. Well, I forgot what it was between. Was that Spider-Girl? I don't know. I like Spider-Girl, Don. We've got that in common.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering, does Sony have the rights to Spider-Girl?
I was
But-
curious about that.
But if so, and if they got the rights to Spider-Man, how could you tell a Spider-Girl movie without Peter having been? You see, you really got to have both to tell the complete story.
Fortunately, there's never going to be a Spider-Girl movie, so
Well,
we're not going to have
well,
to worry about it.
You never know.
Okay, so wait, let me ask you guys this. Okay, well, who hasn't seen Captain America yet?
Two-thirds, two-fifths.
Then I can't ask yet.
I did see Shield. I did watch Shield last night, which was awesome.
Oh my goodness, that show is
it was
progressively getting better.
It was like just and see.
And it happened all at once too. It went from to badass.
Well,
Yeah.
well, see, this is why I've been saying, not everybody has a HOMTU on their coffee table. They couldn't do this earlier in the season. Otherwise, it would have been too much for people to keep track of.
Mhm.
But now they know the characters, they know what's going on, they know who's been in play and who's not. So now they can do all this Marvel kind of cloak and dagger stuff. Sorry, I like cloak and dagger.
There's nothing wrong. I am a fair fan of Cloak and Dagger as well. So let me rephrase my question as this. We all know that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are going to be in the Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, but they're also going to be in X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is that an indication?
No.
Okay.
No, there was some kind of thing where in the Avengers they're not going to be Magneto's children and they're not even mutants.
Yeah, they're having to make some
They're just
concessions.
straight up metahumans.
Oh.
Yes, I know. I'm very disappointed.
Okay. Being
Oh.
a metahuman is the same thing as being a mutant.
Mutants are born with their powers. Metahumans develop their powers
Yeah.
later.
Right, but it's still they're
Captain
enhanced.
America is a metahuman, not a mutant.
Right. Spider-Man's technically a metahuman.
He's America's favorite non-mutant superhero, or whatever it was. Whatever the old tagline was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Spider-Man, I think the movie will be okay, but it looks terrible.
I'm just not having anything to do with
I
it.
still haven't seen the Amazing Spider-Man.
I liked it.
Oh, please
Yeah.
go see Amazing. It was good. I
It's my
believe
It's my second favorite Spider-Man movie.
I
I
just
believe that Amazing 2 is going to be good. I know it's going to have a lot going on, and I think with today's audience, that's probably what's needed to rekindle the love for these comic movies.
I don't think the comic movies need to be rekindled. I think I think
I think they're doing pretty well for themselves.
I
at
think
this
that we just need to be
They're,
given
they're
good ones.
doing good. However, the thing. This is what I want from Hollywood. I want them. You have these studios, Marvel's and DC, that have this deep well of characters that they need to dive into. Now, I'll go on a limb and say that Guardians of the Galaxy is a gamble for Marvel Studios. Not Marvel Comics, but Marvel Studios as a franchise.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
not too well known.
It's about, is it going to be a good movie? Is the Marvel name strong enough to propel something that people aren't aware of
Hmm.
into prominence? And it's a test for Marvel to see, can we start selling these non-traditional superheroes to the masses?
yeah,
Exactly.
Not Avengers related.
And
But see,
that's going to be the big
Yeah.
thing that they're looking to bank on.
But Marvel's cosmic universe has always been a really hard thing to write. I mean, there's been good cosmic series.
Comic
But-
series, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but as far as with all the cosmic characters, your Guardians of the Galaxy, your Quasar,
But this movie has John C. Reilly as a member of the Nova Corps, and I really want to see that.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. I mean,
Well, now he's playing the guy that gave Richard his powers. The Del Rey. No, Del Rey. You know what I'm talking about, Mel. You know what I'm talking about, Melvar.
Actually, I'm not big on Nova knowledge. So.
Okay, well, because I think I read somewhere he's playing the guy who would eventually, basically, he's like the Abin Sur for Nova.
Okay.
Roman Day.
Okay, that
Roman Day,
reference
yeah.
I got. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that will eventually give his powers to Richard Rider and become the Nova.
Just real quick. Sorry, go ahead, finish, Don.
No, just and that what I want to see is if they can pull it off, is a new Warriors movie. Because I think that would be that or a Young Avengers.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, because Paladin's not on the show to defend himself, he's saying that the cast for Amazing Spider-Man was awful. He is very wrong. The cast for Amazing Spider-Man was perfect.
It was.
I would have.
I still don't think they got the Green Goblin right.
Well, I mean, for Amazing Spider-Man.
No, for Amazing, the first one.
Oh yeah, no, I mean for the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I still don't think they did the Green Goblin
Yeah,
right.
me neither. But Andrew Garfield is so God Almighty so much better as Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Oh my
Tobey Maguire
God, he
was
was
not that
awful.
great.
He was so.
Oh, yeah.
I love Spider-Man 2. I love it.
It's one of my favorite movies. It's not my favorite. It's
But-
my second favorite movie.
But yeah, Tobey Maguire, not a
But
terrific.
I really would rather have seen them try to do a fourth movie to make up for the
Thank
third.
God they didn't.
No, it's just
No, I think Spider-Man 3 did enough damage on its own. that-
Yeah.
well. So did Star Trek V. We still got several movies after that.
And one of them was good.
So it's about time to start. Do we need any bio breaks or anything?
People are saying Ustream saying it's offline,
Um,
off air.
Let me check again. It was working a second ago.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield,
All those who chose to oppose his shield.
my shield. I said that last night in the chat. And I spelled out shield SHIELD.
Yeah, hell, it's saying off air.
But but Chris, I will say this: I have never seen Coulson. I've seen him ticked off. He was pissed. He was just, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but the last bit before the end of the show on who got shot on the plane by who.
Mhm.
Okay, it's fixed.
Ah!
Okay, cool.
But the sad part,
You
before
didn't
it
see
happened,
that?
I called it.
That caught
Oh
me.
yeah.
That
absolutely.
caught me completely off guard.
Oh,
That
My
caught me.
fiance and I were watching last night, and I said, "Damn it, Bobby!" And she's like, "What? What?" I said, "Don't worry, you'll see it." She's
yeah.
like, "What?"
As soon as he's like, "I'm going too," I'm like, "Okay, well there we go."
I mean, I thought he was legitimately PO'd and was going to do what he was going to do. But
Yeah.
I had no clue he was going to do what he did.
Crazy.
Okay, you guys ready?
Hold on. He's
Yep.
not a traitor. It's a deep cover thing. I guarantee it.
It's got. But I mean,
I hope so.
I like him, but like Ironhide.
Okay,
Get
I think we're ready
Ironhided.
Okay,
We're ready.
let's start. And Chris, do you still want me to say Topher?
You can. I'm still called Topher, so.
I mean, I just okay. I'll do Topher.
Whatever you prefer.
Yeah,
Makes no difference to me. You can call me Chris.
I'll probably revert to Chris.
That's fine.
Let's start. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 358, recorded April 9th, 2014. I am your host, Brian Kilby. With me on the show this week, we have Topher, who I will refer to as Chris from now on. We have Diecast, Don, and Melvar. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Good evening,
Excellent.
everyone.
Pretty good.
Hello, hello.
Watch
Anybody
Agents of Shield. Watch it.
go
It's
see
good now.
go see Captain America 2: Winter Soldier.
We'll
First,
go
and then
watch it.
Two or
Watch.
3 times.
Yeah.
Go see it 2 or 3 times.
It's my second viewing. I hope to have a third this weekend. It's excellent. It's the best Marvel movie so far.
I saw it in IMAX 3D. Well worth it.
And just a little note, DC might as well give up at this point. Warner Brothers, you're not going to cut it. Captain America 3 is going to debut head-to-head with Superman Batman, and Superman Batman will lose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm calling it now.
calling it now. It's over.
Cap is going to freeze Superman Batman so bad they're just going to have to let it go.
Yeah. It's true.
If Cap 3 comes out against Superman Batman, I'm just gonna stand at the movie theaters all day and go see Captain America over and over
Yeah.
again. So
It's really that good. No, but no spoilers. I loved it. Loved it. Not a whole lot going on with me this week. I ordered, I think it was last week, or so at some point I was able to, thanks to XV, Land Whirl through Hasbro Toy Shop, but it's on pre-order. So I'll get it at some point. I got that Rhinox that I didn't want. It's sitting in the living room. It's still in the box.
But you got it at a discount.
I did.
I convinced Brian to buy a toy he already had.
And that's not the first time that's happened. In fact,
That was the best when I texted Brian and I was like, World's in stock at Hasbro Toy Shop. He's like, XV already told me and I got it. And I was like, XV to be nice kind of scares me.
Yeah.
Be afraid.
Be very afraid. But anybody land anything cool this week? Really nothing much is coming out here in the U.S., and all of us are in the U.S.
No, I've gone looking, and all the shelves and pegs are still bare.
Yep.
I have a double cross. A double dealer and a whirl heading my way, but that's about it.
My Masterpiece Rat Bat with free Sound Blaster finally came in.
You like it?
So, yeah, I didn't take Sound Blaster out of the box. I slid the box out, cut the tape, opened the clamshell, took out Rat Bat, put the lid back on, and slid it in. So yeah, I played with Rat Bat for a little bit. It's nice. It's it's a Masterpiece cassette, so I don't think there's anything. I mean, Laserbeak was probably the best one out of all the cassettes.
And he's the one I broke.
Yeah, a lot of people
Ouch.
broke him.
Yeah.
Either at the wing, or my one friend said he actually his head broke off somehow.
The one of the tail fins broke off of mine. It was sad, but I still have Buzzsaw. So, but yeah.
I've been checking all the stores between here and my mother's house that I'm doing some work at, and there is nothing in this part of Virginia or Central North Carolina. There is nothing. I mean, every Walmart only has some Beast Hunter stuff. There's no deluxes of anything except Toys R Us still has the Centurion Armada Starscream Wave, and that's it.
Actually, speaking of going back to the Masterpiece stuff, I was having a conversation with Tformers90 on Twitter this weekend and a couple other people, and it was about Masterpiece Hot Rodimus and the fact that it's a flaming pile of crap. So
it's not that bad.
It's a QA nightmare. But Tformers90 said that the arm on his just completely snapped off. Just like it was just sitting there and the arm fell off. Now, our friend Alan Young, who was on our Outside the Cage podcast, that literally the same thing happened to him as well. But he had the second wave of the Takara release. Tformers90 actually had the Hasbro release of this toy. Same thing. I have the first wave Takara release. The arm's still there, and I'm looking at it right now. But I am, honest to God, afraid of this breaking at this point. So
your track record?
Hasbro. I have the Hasbro first release. To be honest with you, I could not get all the way through the transformation, so he has only been semi-transformed once, and he's been in packaging ever since.
So I basically just passing this along. Oh my God, Don, that sounded awful.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Mute
next time.
Sorry. The window Massey was laying in, he suddenly ran off, and it was a lot of cold air coming in.
Is he okay?
Oh no, he just every time he sees a bird fly by or something in the back, he automatically thinks it's in the front.
Gotcha.
So he runs back and forth from window to window trying to track something.
Gotcha. But yeah, so if you have Masterpiece Rodimus, check it. Put like some sort of blessing on it. A window, not a window, a circle of protection, whatever. I want a redo on this toy so bad. If this were a domestic release, if mine was a domestic release and this happened, I would demand a refund on it.
Well, I'm just wondering though, Brian, with the new smaller scale, if they made a new version, would that have enough mass to accommodate the transformation? Or would it need to be completely redesigned?
He's in scale with MP10. They're not going to do a new version. I mean,
I'd like to get a new Megatron. I mean, that's kind of asking for a lot.
No, I don't think so. I think that's bound to happen.
It won't be a US
Yeah, he'll probably be
release,
a tank.
obviously, unless it's a tank.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, they may take some liberties and do, since with Transformers Prime, and do an alien.
I think really, if it's going to be a masterpiece toy, it's either going to be a tank or it's going to be another gun.
I would hope a gun.
I
really-
easily see a tank.
I would take either, honestly. But I honestly, I think
Hopefully.
I said tank before, but at this point, I'm pretty confident we would probably get another gun.
And hopefully,
I'd rather have Galvatron anyway.
Me too.
Agreed.
I would love a masterpiece Galvatron.
G2 Megatron.
Yeah, but if you have the chance, check your Hot Rodimus and make sure that that it's still in one piece. Let's see here. On the show this week, we have the news, Q&A with Rob Springer. I hope. I haven't gotten it from him yet, but I fed him some questions yesterday, so hopefully I'll get a copy of that video here in a few minutes. And also, we have This Week in History. So let's go ahead and start off with This Week in History. In 2004, the Transformers game for the PlayStation 2 was released in the US by Atari. Who else has this? I have it.
I have it.
I have it.
See, that's the fighting game.
No, that was the Armada game.
Armada.
Oh,
Yeah.
Armada. I have never beat that game.
I
That
haven't
was
either,
the
but-
first game, and correct me if I'm wrong, that was the first game you could actually transform mid-game.
Not count. That was so you could transform mid-game in Transformers Mystery of Convoy for the Famicom.
And the PS1 version, you could transform.
Yeah, and you could transform in the Game Boy Color game. So no, that's not the first one.
Okay.
And you could probably transform in the Headmaster's Famicom Disk System game. And probably also, I don't know about the C64 game because I've actually never played it, but I have the disc. I would actually like to play that game. I need an emulator. But this was the first good Transformers game, relatively
was.
speaking.
For anything Armada tie-in, I enjoyed it. I can never get to that far island to get the minicon you needed to beat Tidal Wave, though, because that minicon had some special firepower upgrade, and I could never get it. So I just sort of gave up.
I haven't played it in years. I need to go back and play it.
Me too.
But it was a really good game. It really was. Going back a little bit farther, 1998, I was surprised by this. Beast Wars debuted in the UK. I thought it was before that. Because it was 96 in the 95 or 96, Don. Which was it? 96 in the US?
Beast Wars.
I want to say 96.
I think it was
but
96.
I can't remember.
But yeah, 98. So it was a couple years later is when Beast Wars debuted in the UK. The reason I think that was interesting is because, of course, back then I had a lot of friends in the UK and they were all into Beast Wars and they knew about it. But I guess that was due to tape trading. That's how we got stuff back then, kids. We traded tapes through the mail.
Well, like I said before, I was trading Kmart Legends Bumblebees for tapes of Master Force and Victory.
I was lucky enough to be really into the wrestling tape trade in the 90s. I got my hands on a lot of awesome stuff. But for Transformers,
Same here.
yep, that was it's crazy, but that was really fun. But of course, I was also able to get my hands on things like Headmasters and all of the Japanese series back then. And oh god, I remember getting really bad 5th generation copies of like Transformers the movie and G1.
And look at us now. We've gone from tape trading to torrenting.
Or
But I mean,
buying on
we
DVD.
But we were grateful, Brian. Younger people nowadays don't realize how good they've got it. We were grateful for 5th generation copies.
Yeah, we were. But of course, we wanted 5th generation copies of the original airing, not copies that were pulled off, not 2nd generation or 1st generation copies off Sci-Fi Channel, because those were edited. We're old. We're so old.
It's sad that I'm actually missing Sci-Fi Channel's animation station.
Oh, you and me both.
That's how bad it is, because nowadays there's no programming blocks for cartoons. And as bad as Animation Station was, it was still better than what we have nowadays.
I think the last set of series to air on Animation Station was Ronin Warriors and Bionic 6, maybe.
Let's go ahead and jump to the news. So, first up, this popped up like right after we did the show last week, which is always the way. The Transformers BotCon exclusive figure, the third in the series, was announced, and it's Scorponok. So, not only is it Scorponok, it's G1 Scorponok, based off the Energon Scorponok mold and repainted, with a new head, which is a remold of the Spike head from Encore Fort Max. That's crazy. Now,
and the faceplate visor is based off the Scorponok commercial / Rebirth opening head.
Yes. So I'm not going to sound like I'm not what's the right word for this? Grateful. Appreciative of the effort, but I'm not in love with it.
I am in love with it.
I love it.
I think it's amazingly interesting. It's a confluence of a lot of different things and ideas and stuff that I never expected. One, it's piecemeal from another mold. That Spike figure is from another mold. So they had to remold Energon Scorponok. I'm one of the few people that like Energon Scorponok, and I never really wanted it in this color. But the fact that it's they had to go to all this effort to make this happen, I am really impressed by that.
And it's a headmaster.
It's a real honest-to-God headmaster.
That's the biggest wing for me. I mean, kudos to the resurge of the headmaster, because Lord knows I've been asking for a headmaster, a target master. You know, I do own my wonderful third-party Warden. That's my beautiful headmaster crack. But this, I like the mold of Scorponok. I like it. Don't love it.
I'm impressed by it, but I don't need it.
I do like it. Again, I'm not going to gush on it. I do like it. It's a headmaster, and I'm always glad to see the headmaster concept revisited. But I think the fiction will really help out on this figure being where it stands in its place in the set. But with the headmaster being Zarak's son, I find that very interesting that they're going that route as well. So I want to see the fiction behind this almost as much as I want the toy.
Yeah, we'll see how this turns out, Don. When you get it, take lots of pictures.
I am really happy with this, because now in this set we're getting a headmaster and a target master already, and we don't even know what all the figures are.
Yeah. I think awesome. I'm not going to say that they're knocking it out of the park, but this is definitely at least a triple.
Well, I think this really just showed where they were going outside the box with this set. Being the whole Pirates versus Knights thing, I think is really. It's what, an inside the field home run, whatever it's called.
I think we'll go with that.
All right. I want to change my opinion. I don't like this as a BotCon figure. I would have loved this as a Transformer 3.0 figure. Because then it would have been a lot easier for us to get if we weren't going to BotCon.
3.0 subscription service.
Yeah.
God, that would be expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, that's with that remolding. With the subscription service, you probably wouldn't have the economies of scale of production to make that even feasible.
Yeah, we might have gotten like 4 figures in that set. But
does this mean the box set's going to be more expensive because this is one of the largest figures you've gotten in that box set?
Who knows?
Yeah,
probably.
Probably.
It may be. They may have less add-on figures to balance it out. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Moving ahead, we have new photos from the Miyazawa Moke Spring, I guess that's a toy show exhibition in Japan. Of a few things, most prominent being more photos of Mega Drive Megatron, which I think is And again, it's a novelty. It's a Megatron.
like it.
Yeah, it's Megatron based on the Mega Drive, which was the UK, or pardon me, the European and Japanese version of the Sega Genesis. Same unit, just a different name. It's weird, and it's really dated. And it's not like the Mega Drive was around during the height of the Transformers popularity. If anything, it should be the the Master System or the Power Base. Was it the Power Base? Is that what they called it in the UK or Europe? It should be. It would make more sense to be that. But with that said, I still kind of want it.
I think the one thing I've seen is where everyone's asking where's their SNES Optimus Prime now.
That would be funny.
Actually, I think I've got
A Super Famicom Super Famicom Convoy.
The first thing I thought when I saw this was the cassette or the game cartridge that's sticking out of his chest. I would be like, how great if that was Laserbeak, because Megatron, in G1 was pretty much the one controlling what Laserbeak did anyway. Yeah. So
I would like for this to be like a playable game console, like Web Diver, but it's not going to be. But it's not like they haven't done that before. Also from the exhibition, we have a couple other things, photos of the ice tray, which I think we talked about before, but I wasn't aware of this new model of Alpha Trion that's coming out. Did we talk about this before?
Not that I remember.
Not that I remember.
I mean, it's a model kit, or it's a model. It's Alpha Trion. It looks nice. It doesn't transform, not that it would anyway. So, whatever.
Hey Brian, I'm putting in the Skype in the chat windows. I don't know. This is artwork that I just randomly found online one day. I don't know if it's concept art, if it's fan art, but it is the Super Famicom as Optimus Prime.
Oh wow!
It's the Famicom, the original Famicom. That's neat looking.
It is.
Yeah. So again, I don't know.
Famicom boy.
Where
yeah, I like that.
So.
And he even has the wires coming out into the controller, because the controller was hard-wired into the unit, unlike being a separate piece like in the U.S. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, it'd be nice if we got a Super Famicom. Super Famicom. That'd be pretty sweet. Let's see here. Jumping ahead. We also have in the news this week new photos of Generations Tankor. And let's see here. Anything else?
Who cares about Tankor? I want some more Rat Trap figures.
Hey! I want.
Yeah.
I want. My only issue, I wish it was a Voyager.
Yeah, it looks pretty small.
It needs to be a deluxe.
It needs to be someone other than Tankor. Sorry.
I almost agree with you, Don. I'm really fond of Tankor as a character. I'm really fond of Tank Drone as a toy. And this is a new look. I don't hate it.
I'm sorry. My dislike for Beast Machines is extending to this toy, which is not fair.
I understand, and trust me, that is the flack that I get all the time, because I am actually a Beast Machines fan.
Second season's fantastic. First season, not so much.
Not so much.
I've never even seen Beast Machines.
Then get off this podcast right now and go watch it.
I wouldn't even know where to find it.
It's only 13 episodes. We'll wait.
Go to amazon.com.
It's just Tankor. I swear, I think I like the Tank Drone just as much as this.
I think Tank Drone is probably going to be better than that, but that's me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So they are going. I won't show the story because it's all text. But Hasbro will be working on toys based on the Transformers Universe MMO. I'm honestly a little surprised by that.
Now, is that the one that still hasn't come out after 4 years?
It's in beta. It's in beta.
Okay.
It's in beta. But the funny thing is, I tried. I haven't gotten my invite that I signed up for at BotCon 2012. So I assumed that
they
I
lost them all.
Did they?
Probably. I mean, I made a character at New York Comic Con and was supposed to get one of the first betas, and I used the email address that I've been using for years. I've never gotten anything from them.
Me too. And I really wanted Billy because I created Billy, and I wanted him, and I didn't get it. But yeah, so that's happening. So that shows that Hasbro either A is in need of more IP, or B they're really behind it, or possibly C, all of the above.
Well, I've also heard that it's possible that they're talking about, taking characters from the game. They've actually already taken 2 or 3 characters designed in this game and used them as Prime characters.
Okay.
So then that could possibly mean we may not get anything else, but it is a possibility that we may get more figures, that were, based on this game.
We'll see. It'd be pretty
Like you
cool.
said, needing IP,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So, Transformer Cybertron, the complete series, is coming out August 5th from Shop Factory. If you haven't seen it, or if you want to enjoy what is, I guess, the best of the Unicron trilogy, again, this is the one to pick up. It looks like it's going to be about $30.
That's not bad.
No.
I didn't pay that when it first came out.
Does that include Unicron trilogies? Is that going to be on
No,
there?
Well, Unicron trilogy is Armada,
It's all
Energon,
three.
and Cybertron.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is 1/3 of the Unicron trilogy.
Yeah.
So it's the Una trilogy.
This would be the
The Ron trilogy.
yeah Ron trilogy.
Yeah.
Run trilogy.
So if you want that, get that.
No.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't hate Cybertron.
It's the best one of the 3.
Yeah, out of the 3, it is the best.
Yeah, it's got the most likable kids of the 3.
Oh God, Don.
I mean,
Let's not-
Don
let's not
likes
even go
his
into that
kids.
factor.
of the 3, Diecast, shut up. But I'm just saying. I'm saying as far as it not being nerve destroying.
In the words of M. Bob Saget, it's not kicker.
Yeah. So also we have new photos of Tailgate and Ground Pounder and Scrapnel with Reflector, the new Generations Legends 2-packs. I have mine pre-ordered. I hope they actually materialize. I want them so much. Here's Scrapnel and Reflector. Looks really nice.
I still want.
These should be out soon too, shouldn't they?
Should.
Allegedly.
Should
'Cause
be.
I have mine pre-ordered, and I think they're for this month.
I thought Cosmos would have been out months ago, but
We all did.
Well, I don't know, man, but look what happened to the Waspinator wave. I mean, I saw that wave one time, and that was it.
that's going to Ross. It's just taking the slow boat, so it'll be there in a couple months. I mean, they had to have made more than what we've seen in the store. I mean, I just don't understand how they would only make, say 1,000 pieces of one wave, when all the other waves typically get 10,000. And I'm just
That
throwing
was
You're
numbers
just
out
making
there.
numbers.
completely baffling.
and Tailgate with Ground Pounder. Yeah, really, they look really nice. I really want them. I need them. I really do. At some point, I will have those. Let's see here. Is that it? Yeah, that's it as far as the non-third-party news go. We also... probably shouldn't even mention this, but I'm going to. We have a first look at the TSE Toys Star Dino Team, a.k.a. the Big Lots exclusive set. Yeah. It's just not
That-
working.
It needs some tweaking.
Yeah.
I almost prefer my Power Core Combiner Dinobots over this.
You should prefer your Power
Yes.
Core Combiner Dinobots
Well,
to that.
at least the color scheme in combined mode is uniform. The colors I have no problem with. Everything's balanced and you've got highlights here, so the colors are nice-ish.
They're just weird looking. They just
It looks like what the Play School Dinobots would combine into.
yeah.
It reminds me of that old joke. Do the Dinobots combine? If you hit them hard enough together, they do.
Yeah. So it's not really knocking these so much because they're something different. You know, they're not. You know, are these even supposed to be the Transformers? Like, third-party toys are typically Transformers knockoffs. Are these supposed? Is it supposed to be like Grimlock, Swoop, etc., or are these, you know, independent
It looks
characters?
that way.
Okay, then they're terrible.
Well, I have to say, I like this better than Energon, Swoop, and Grimlock.
Everything is better than Energon, Swoop, and Grimlock.
That's true.
Agreed.
That's very true.
Yeah. Yeah, this really looks like it belongs at Big Lots.
Maybe
Or Family Dollar. No, we're not. Probably. You know, actually, that's probably an untapped market for a lot of these toys. If the third parties could up the production, they could totally sell most of these things at Big Lots or whatever, because they don't care. It's not like Walmart or Target's going to buy this stuff, but Big Lots, Family Dollar, Dollar General, hell yeah. Finally, in the news, unique toy sound mixer, new in-hand photos from TF Source. TF Source has it for $75. General consensus, it's a nice looking toy.
Too small.
It's a little too small. And what, I didn't know this, but what cemented that for me in pre-show, the cassettes are non-standard micro cassette size. They do not, it's not interoperable with KFC stuff or with existing first-party cassette toys.
Or the G1 cassette toys, for that matter.
Yeah.
So
it's not, I mean, it's a nice-looking toy. I don't hate it. I think it hits all the notes that it needs to, except for that interoperability that it's lacking.
Well, two things. I said this in the pre-show. I do like the way that the cassette he does come with turns into the gun, which I just find that a really innovative way of having a cassette and his rifle without just sticking somewhere on the back. And two, maybe the next release will be a pair of cassettes that become platform shoes for him.
Yeah.
I mean, what's with the chest armor and the shoulder pads?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to figure out.
Is that comic? I just
No.
assumed that was comic related.
No. Nope.
The running theory
Okay.
is it's part of something bigger for future releases.
I
But
hope
that-
so.
Yeah.
that- as it is now, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And then the crown of thorns on his head.
I thought those were glasses.
Are they?
Aren't they like glasses of some sort?
Crown of Thorns.
I'm being dramatic, but
Okay, I was okay. I don't see that thumbnail anywhere.
Yeah, I thought they were like micro.
I guess. But
I do like the way that his handle becomes the heels. That's a very innovative way of getting rid of the handle without it just being stuck somewhere on the side of the figure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and jump to Q&A with Rob Springer. Hopefully, if we have it. If not, I'll have to edit this out. And after that, we will come back with a topic that occurred to me just in time for the show tonight. How big of a nerd are you, anyway? So, let's find out after we come back after this break. Okay. We good? Looks like the chat's gone dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one's said anything.
chat died.
Let me see if the
Hello?
Ustream died again. If it did, I'll just kill it. As I'm not going to worry about it. I love doing the live stream, but it's not. No, we're streaming. Okay.
It says live.
Hopefully they'll. That's really strange for our chat to die like that.
Yeah.
Is anybody out there?
If not, it's okay. I'm ready to come back if you guys are.
Yep.
Yep.
is there?
Okay. Let me try that one more time. So, as I was saying before the break, this came to me just before we started the show. Who was it that asked about taking a toy to dinner?
That was me.
So what was your question was like? Have any of you brought a toy like out to dinner? I'm assuming that you're talking about like fine dining or like dinner with meeting up with somebody with friends and family or whatever.
Yeah, friends and family, just not at your
Yeah.
house. I mean, I don't know if that you would consider Denny's fine dining,
Yeah,
but
but so
it's a restaurant.
yeah, that's right. So I'm like, well, how big of a nerd are you? And I thought I've done that. I'm a pretty big nerd. But really, so how big of a nerd are you guys? What's like the nerdiest thing, the dorkiest thing, the geekiest thing that you have personally done or are known for? Diecast. Let's start with you. Are you what? How big of a nerd are you?
Oh, you know, I would probably take something out to dinner if I didn't think other people were going to look at me strange. So I've never gone that far, but definitely like just getting Transformers for Christmas when you're 30 years old is kind of, I feel like that qualifies.
So what did your coworkers and family think when you told them that you were going to Toy Fair 2014 to cover the exhibition for a podcast?
Yeah, they thought it was kind of strange, but they were like, I'm like, but it's not a convention that's open to the public, so it's okay. I mean, they know I go to New York Comic-Con, so I mean, it's kind of in the realm of what I would do anyway, even if I wasn't on the podcast. But Toy Fair was an interesting experience. I mean, I enjoyed that more than at least the Hasbro event in particular. I enjoyed that more than New York Comic-Con.
So, Melvar, how big of a nerd are you? What sets you apart from other nerds? Is there anything? I mean,
I think I'm kind of a bad nerd, actually.
really? How?
Yeah. Just nothing strikes me out of the ordinary.
I could see that. You seem to be a pretty straight-laced, normal dude. Like, meeting you, you're like this, I mean, no offense to anybody, but Don and I have been around the block for a while. We know there are a lot of really interesting people out there. And you just...
And Melvar, you are not interesting. So
you are interesting. Oh, well, I'm using interesting as a euphemism. So, I could see that. Don. I'm going to skip over you. I'm going to skip over you for right now because
save the best for last.
You and I are going to probably talk for a few minutes on this stuff. But
okay.
Chris, dude, you're a nerd.
I'm the conservative nerd. I know which people I'm getting around. Even though if you walk into my office and you will see wonderful figures such as my Deathstroke, my Voltron, and I mean, I'm good right up until I part my lips. And I see if you're heading in that direction, then I will head down that path with you. And a lot of people are taken back by that. They're like, oh, well, I didn't know. You don't give that appearance that you know this, and this.
Don, we'll talk here in a minute. Have you guys had the experience, like Chris is saying, that somebody finds out that you're into like Transformers or whatever, and then they start picking your brain, and then you have to sort of how do you react to that? When somebody asks you like Transformers, what do you like about Transformers? How do you respond to that?
Believe it or not, I haven't had too much of that interaction. None of my friends are into Transformer. I mean, the friends I grew up with in high school and, all throughout school, and none of them are into this stuff. I'm the only one. So, in a way, I kind of felt very sheltered for a long, long time because I almost thought I liked this thing that no one should like at my age. So I was kind of embarrassed by it in a lot of ways, and that's probably why I would never take a Transformer out to dinner. But I've kind of came out a little bit more with with my hobby and collection, now that I've been on the podcast and I meet other people my age who are also into Transformers. And I'm like, oh, this isn't such a a bad thing, such a negative thing that I like this at my age. So I've never actually had anyone come up to me and be like, I like Transformers too. That was just in a regular like work environment or anything like that.
So I work in a really large office with thousands of people, and most of my office is IT. So it's not uncommon for people to have nerdly tendencies. But I try to keep it hidden at this point how much I'm into this stuff. Like 10 years ago when I first entered the professional world, my cubicle was wall-to-wall Transformers. I had like Masterpiece Prime, G1 Combiners, Japanese figures, posters, everything. Literally my cube was full of stuff. And if somebody stole something out of my cube, it was not going to be a small hit. Like my cube now, I have a couple of, because I work at a major retailer, and there happened to be a Transformer themed for that retailer during Dark of the Moon. I happen to have several of those, iterations of that character in my cubicle, which is cool because, hey, company pride and all that. But my old team, my old team was very well aware, and they really accepted it, like really, really accepted the fact that, I'm on a podcast. I don't know to what extent. That I've traveled, go to conventions. When my old boss, who was awesome, I love her to death. She's a friend. I don't report to her now, so I can say she's a friend and not my boss. Her first day at work, I wasn't there because I was at Universal Studios Florida covering the opening of Transformers: The Ride, and she started with me not there, and everyone told her, "Yeah, Brian's in Florida covering Transformers: The Ride for a Transformers website and podcast." Okay. That pretty much colored her opinion of me forever. I'm not going to say colored, not tainted, because I don't think there's a negative connotation, but the fact that, she was cool with it. But I've tried to keep this very on the down low on my new job since I've started my new job. And I thought that nobody knew about it until Friday. I was on Thursday or Friday. I was taking in a car with one of my coworkers, and she was telling me about how her friend is an author and how she goes to conventions and she helps out at conventions and has tables and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I've got experience doing that. I've done tables, I've done panels. Then I thought, well, crap, I'm going to have to just say what it is. So I have a podcast, I said, and then just without going, she said, I know, I've listened to it. And I'm like, well, how do you know? And then she said, she paused, you told me about it. I'm like, I didn't tell you about it. I'm like, and I've known her for 3 or 4 years. I'm like, okay, so I must have told you about this years ago. Yeah, it was years ago. You told me about this years ago. Okay, great. So, fast forward a couple of days, and there's a new guy on the team. He was in a meeting, just happened to be with my wife. They were talking about me. It was like she tends to do. And he told her, yeah, someone on the team told me I needed to Google your husband. And, yeah, so the cat's out of the bag with that one, so I'm going to have to start owning it up to it. But even there, unless you actually delve into the podcast and, blog posts and Usenet posts, you're never really going to get a full picture of how, invested I am into this thing. But I am really kind of worried. A little, not worried is not the right word, apprehensive about sharing it. But the cat being out of the bag, I might as well do that. But sharing that stuff at work, depending on the environment, it's not easy. And you're really kind of putting yourself on the line a little bit, because historically, there's been, what's a good way of putting it, a stigma on being a nerd or a geek. I think that's gotten better. You guys would agree, right? Being a geek is now kind of cool thanks to terrible TV shows like Big Bang Theory and such.
Yeah.
And mainstream movies being based on comics, making bazillions of dollars.
Yeah. So, I mean, they don't expect me, I hope, they don't think I'm like living in my parents' basement or anything. But for years, that's what I joked. I live in my parents' basement. I didn't. I live in someone else's basement. But that's a true story. But no, it's. I'm really worried about people finding out. Melvar, in your work, do you have any friends that you tell this stuff about?
Oh, yeah, I have a friend I can talk with wrestling about. I work with a guy who does a lot of cosplay. Another friend I actually go toy hunting with on occasion, and I can talk to him about Toko or Transformers or Gundam or anything because he likes it all. And I did think of something nerdy that I do. In the spring and summertime, I tend to work a lot of weekends, and every year I pre-schedule Free Comic Book Day off.
That's awesome.
And I tell them it's a religious holiday.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So, Don?
Well, most everyone where I work, I've been with the company for almost 17 years and 16 years at this one store. But they know I'm into science fiction and anime. They know I'm into it, so that's why they volunteered me to run the Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day on Saturday mornings when the kids would come in and play in the snack bar when we had the snack bar. They volunteered me to run the Yu-Gi-Oh demos for 2 hours every Saturday because they knew I was into that kind of stuff. I don't think very few people know the extent of my collection outside the Transformers fandom, and the few people that do know, they think they know, but they've not actually been to my apartment.
I need to remedy that, Don.
And they've not seen this. They've not seen my collection of Brave. They've not seen the wall of carded figures in my bedroom. It's just. But again, a lot of that for me was compensating for other things, in my life that's been going on. But nerdy, I mean, my whole life I've been a nerd. I was sick. I was sick growing up. I couldn't get out and play sports without collapsing with pneumonia. Heck, the first 7 years of my life, I was in a croup tent every year for bronchitis or something. So I spent a lot of time reading, watching television, and that's where my love of books and all bad science fiction and all that comes from. So yeah, people at work. I've got a friend that I got hooked on Kamen Rider. I got him hooked on starting with Kamen Rider, and some Sentai. We talked Doctor Who. He doesn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so he's wrong. But I've got a few friends I can talk to and stuff like that. But that's why BotCon is so important to me. Is in this area, the few friends I've got are so few and far between that I can speak to them and stuff like this. And I really don't want the people at the store to know the depth I'm in it, just because the fact that there is still that stigma.
There a little bit, I think, or at least it's carried through with some people.
It does. And again, I look like the stereotypical geek. I got no hair, I got glasses, it's just...
Hey, what's wrong with glasses?
Don.
Yeah,
There was a guy at Shardicon who, and I hope I don't offend anyone, was wearing a shirt that was probably a size too small.
Oh, that was
and
me.
Had his pants up past his belly button.
Oh, that was me.
And I had the same shirt as that particular person. I refused to wear it the whole weekend. The shirt was ruined for me.
So, was it a Transformers-related shirt?
Yeah, it was an Autobot shirt.
One of the weird hang-ups I have, if I'm at a Transformers convention, I'm not wearing a Transformers shirt. Because I'm a Transformers fan, and you know that because I'm at a freaking Transformers convention.
I was just like, I didn't realize the shirt was given to me as a gift. I didn't realize it was that popular. Like, everyone had that.
Was it the Luau shirt?
No, it was just the gray shirt with the colored Autobot logo on the front, and like everyone had it, and there were people wearing it who probably shouldn't have been wearing it. So I refused to wear the shirt the whole weekend.
So Don, I want to add a little bit to your how much of a nerd you are. Don is so nerdy that the Transformers design panel knows him by name.
Well, 19 out of 20 BotCons. I mean, yeah. I mean, this face. You can't forget this face no matter how many drugs you take.
Yeah.
So but I will say the nerdiest thing I probably do is two things. One, if I get a notification that one of the authors I follow on fanfiction.net has updated at 3 o'clock in the morning, I will get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to read the next chapter of some stories.
That is awesome!
Because there are some very good writers in certain areas. Very good writers.
Now, you met my friend Mark at that comic convention, but you never got to meet Dusty. You and Dusty would probably high-five you by saying that. He still loves fanfiction.net.
There are some very good authors that they deserve to be published authors as well as they write. But probably one of the nerdiest things I do is if I've got some new figures to open and I haven't had time to, and I'm not grossing anybody out, I'm just saying, you know how with guys, if we have to go to the bathroom, we'll take a magazine. You know, it's one of them things. I will, on occasion, take a Transformer and read the instruction manual while I'm there.
Do you take a pair of
material?
You take a pair of scissors or toenail clippers to like clip them out of the box.
I mean, if I'm not going anywhere and I've got a pile to open, I mean, you know, I'm being productive with my time.
And that way, if it happens to be like, you know, Transformers Prime Deluxe Black Arachnia, you can just throw her in the toilet when you realize that she's a piece of crap.
Not when I paid full retail for her before I saw her.
So Don, are you done? You have anything else?
I'm done. I think I've grossed it.
I've got a couple, and I guess I want to start by saying one. Some people will find this nerdy as hell, and some people won't. Depends on how invested you are. More casual fans will probably think, you know, that's ridiculous. And our more hardcore fans or our more antisocial fans, it'll make sense. I have more friends in the Transformers fandom than I have in real life. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm the most popular person in the world, but I have lots of friends. People tend to gravitate toward me, seriously. But I know I have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people online in the Transformers fandom, long-term friends that I've known for years, that I've gone to their weddings, I've gone to the birth of their children, etc., 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 and I know them all through Transformers. You know, I have people that, you know, I would take lots of people that I would take a bullet for that I only get to see at BotCon. So, I mean, that's pretty bad. Probably the thing I'm most nerdy about, and I almost hate to say this because it sounds like congratulatory, but, you know, in the summer of 1999, I did say, hey, I work in radio. I've never heard of a radio program that was about Transformers. I wonder if I could do that. And without any other, you know, podcast, because they didn't exist, or any other, you know, example to go by, I created an online radio show about Transformers. It's one of the first, it's probably the second podcast ever, so far as I can tell. And the second podcast ever, it wasn't about sports, it wasn't about movies, it wasn't about, you know, politics, it wasn't about whatever. It's about Transformers. That's pretty awesome, and I did that. So, that's pretty cool. So, but yeah, so I make my wife how nerdy am I? Every vacation we took last year circled around Transformers, or revolved around Transformers, and so far this year, every vacation so far is in some way around Transformers or the podcast.
Yeah, Brian, you heard like a cruise somewhere with no stops near any stores.
That's what we need, a Transformers cruise. Good thinking,
Oh,
Don.
yeah.
Good thinking.
Hey, they got rock and roll tours.
That's true. Transformers podcast tours. Or that would be pretty cool. Let's see here.
Stan Bush could do the music.
Yeah, they could have Stan Bush as a guest on the cruise. He could play some music.
Get Vince Nicola with him.
We'd have movie night. watch 1984.
Yeah,
You could watch the whole series probably in 2 nights.
I'm trying to think. What else am I? What else? How nerdy am I?
So nerdy that you're turning your wife into a nerd?
I am turning my wife into a nerd. Thank you, Chris. I posted to Facebook a couple days ago a picture from my wife's cube at work. It's now full of Legos, thanks to me. I was pretty proud of that.
That should be Creos if you want to be, even more.
I did actually offer
One
to give.
step at a time.
Yeah, I did offer to give
Baby
her
steps, baby steps.
But like, I don't know what I would give her besides like RC or Slipstream. So I don't really, because it's all females except with the exception of the crew cast from the Lego Movie. How big of a nerd am I? I'm one of those nerds that, in a way, is stereotypical. Because I can talk hours and endlessly about, my favorite Transformers series or my favorite Transformers cartoons, but I can't really talk hours or endlessly about the cool accomplishments that I've had in other aspects of my life.
I'm the same, Brian. I can recite the movie line for line.
I can recite the movie line for line.
And
too.
I couldn't tell you what's going on in the world today in a major sort of way without looking everything up first.
I haven't watched the movie in 3 or 4 years, but I'm pretty confident I could still recite it line for line, word for word. I need to watch it again to see if I could do that.
Don, I got the news for you. They still didn't figure out where that plane is. That's pretty much what's been going on in the news.
Yeah, that's sort of eclipsing everything.
I don't really have anything else. I mean, I could show you the room. But that's my display and collection is way crazy compared to some people. But compared to most people I know, it's pretty much nothing. But compared to the lay fan thinks I'm like my friend Matt, his then girlfriend, now wife. They visited my apartment like 11, 12 years ago, and every room had Transformers in it. And she thought that I was some sort of psychopath serial killer because it was so disturbing. But again, Rob Springer had 5 times as many Transformers as I have.
You should try showing up for a date in a Transformers Camaro like I did.
That's pretty sweet.
That's a different ballpark, though.
That was... And then you come back to my house and I have Transformers in my living room.
That's where some people might get a little,
I have a small house, so in my defense, it was one of the only places I could
So,
put them,
okay, so there I don't live in a large town, and I've gained a lot of weight since then because, well, I lifted weights like a I ate food like a weightlifter until I hurt my back. Then I still did it. But my friend Mark, before he and I were good friends, he was invited to my apartment by the landlord to fix something because he was an electrician. He had no idea where I lived. But he walked in, and with all the Transformers and all the weights and lifting equipment in the room in the apartment, he just said, "This is Brian Kilby's house." And he was right. So that was pretty cool. I need to start lifting again. But yeah, I say I don't know that I'm an alpha level nerd, but I'm at the very least a beta level nerd.
If we're going by that scale, then I at least got to be a Charlie Delta. Wrestling fan. My collection was pretty much reserved for one room, and then Sharticon happened, and then they started slowly seeping out into the dining area with the DVD collection, and then slowly into the living room area. Then my fiance is starting her small collection, so...
Well, I've always been, since day... I can remember when I first started, the top of my dresser. And I remember my dad saying, I had Dinobots, I had some Mini-Bots, just your typical dresser, about 3 drawers across, 3 drawers down. He says, "You got enough of them things?" And I said, "Yeah, this thing is. I've got a lot of them, Dad, but I don't think that we'll be doing too many more of these things." And I think I'm going to have probably enough unless they make something really nice. That was 40. That was 35 years ago. 30 years ago. So I think I'm alpha. I am. I'm coming down off the alpha peak. I'm wanting to get rid of more stuff. I've got too much. I can't enjoy it. It's time for the stuff to go. But I think everybody just needs to realize that there's nothing wrong with being a geek. Just buy what you like, but just remember one thing: you're eventually going to have to get rid of the stuff.
Yeah. So
No, I'm gonna die. Someone else is gonna have to get rid of it.
I want to save my wife from having to do that.
Yeah, not to be a downer.
I've had to do it too. I know what you're going to
Yeah.
say. I've had to like get rid of my family's like. I've said it before. One of the reasons I did the podcast is I had a lot of free time back in the day, but back when I was a teenager. Yeah, I was a teenager at that point because I had a sick mother, sick father, and in the course of 18 months, I lost my brother who lived at home and my two parents, and I had to get rid of their stuff, and it's not fun.
And I'm gonna say this just to make the point. I think a lot of us here, with the passing of JD, I think that really brought home a lot of the fact that we need to try to plan ahead for this stuff, because I don't think any of us want to put anyone that we love through this.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody left. My mom and dad are gone. I have an aunt, but she's a little bit older than what my dad was when he passed away. And I've got cousins, and they're great cousins, but they've got kids in their own lives.
Yeah.
So I've got to take control of this stuff and say, okay, it's been fun, but it's time.
I'm going to consolidate down to the 100 or less. I'm going to try items that I want to keep the most.
I'm going to go with 500 at first.
There you go.
I'm saying, see, I've got carded figures, just like my carded visionaries. They're not going anywhere. There's some, and then once I get down to a manageable number, then I'll look at
Yeah, my long-term goal is 100.
Yeah.
I have no way of doing that anytime soon. So, but I know Amanda has to. We're going to have to work toward helping her get rid of a lot of JD stuff. So, it's never easy. I want to save my wife from that. And hey, in the process, I can make some coin. I can pad my savings account. So.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, I think that pretty well wraps that up. You can find us at facebook.com/TFRadio and on Twitter at TFRadio, and we are on YouTube at TF Radio Network. I am personally on Twitter at BKilby. Topher, I know you've got a lot of stuff going on. How do people find you and your projects?
You can actually find me on the Bell to Bell website, Facebook page, which is the Wrestling Podcast, which is home on Radio Free Cybertron. Thank you, Mr. Kilby. The Facebook page is facebook.com/thebell2bell.
And at prowrestlingpodcast.com.
Correct.
That's how you get to the website. And you're on Twitter, right? Or are you not?
I am. I'm just not as active. You can find me on there on my Twitter. I'm basically posting quotes. I am Topher. I am Topher 21. Sorry, and that's where I'm at on Twitter.
I don't even know that I'm following you. I need to.
Diecast. Fix that then.
I'm fixing that right now. Yes, I am fixing it.
I'm on Twitter at Diecast2, and I'm on Facebook, but I don't really use it. So.
Yeah, you don't post much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melvar is incognito. He's not there. And Don.
I am on Twitter at HMRC for EVR. You can also find me on Facebook as me, Don Ferguson. That's really about it. That's about it.
I think Don needs to write it down on a sheet of paper and hold it up, and then just hold it there. That way people can read it.
I used to do an overlay on video for everybody's Twitter account, but it was such a pain in the butt to manage that I stopped doing it. God, it was hard. I need to put that in the closing and opening credits, though. That's a good idea. And you can find all of our podcasts at tfradio.net. We have, of course, Radio Free Cybertron, which you are listening to right now. We have Bell to Bell, the wrestling podcast, Turtle Air podcast, which is a Ninja Turtle podcast. We have the now monthly Nebulon Pirate Radio podcast, which is another Transformers podcast that Chris... Actually, are all three of you guys on it, or is it... Who's? Yeah, so Ninja
Myself,
Dave...
M-Bob Saget, and Ninja Dave.
So those cats are on there. We have Superhero Time, which is our Toku podcast. You can also find it at tokupodcast.com. And haven't had an episode of Fanboy Versus, except we had one a couple months ago. Still thinking about whether or not to bring that one back. It would have to be, of course, without JD. JD was the host of that show, so it's kind of, bringing it back or not is sort of a prickly proposition, but I think we'll probably come to a decision on that sooner rather than later. Spoilers, we're actually going to do a Captain America Winter Soldier review on Fanboy Versus this weekend, so that'll be posted hopefully by Sunday night. So, do we have anything else? Am I forgetting anything? Occasionally, new Soundwave. We haven't had one in a few months, so that one may end up going into the retired bucket. But we're always thinking about new podcast ideas. I have about 50 projects on the back burner that I want to do, but I try to keep myself to one podcast a week.
And
Figure reviews coming soon.
yes.
Very soon.
Yeah, we're going to do more figure reviews. Diecast is actually going to start doing figure reviews on YouTube. So we have a few up. John and I have done some over time, but it's not been a regular thing. Diecast has he has a replenishing stock of new toys like every week, so we're going to take advantage of that.
It's not quite as good as XV's Bag of Infinite Holding, but it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So I guess that's it. Guys, thank you very much for being on this week.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
A lot of fun. So for the fellas, I'm your host, Brian Kilby. We will be back next week. Have a good one.
Take care, everybody.
Later, folks.
See ya.
Great.
Cool.
That was fun.
And Brian, I'm sorry for having to turn my camera off. My nose is running like.
Oh, I thought it was just locking up. If you have to turn your camera off, let me know so I can adjust. But that's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's literally just started in the last 10 minutes.
It looks like Skype screwing up, which is fine. I'd rather it look like Skype screwing up than us breaking something.
You know, it's
Yeah.
funny how much of that KFC Ultra Magnus Stax figure reminds me of the titanium.
Funny or frightening?
Frightening.
It's weird.
Frightening.
Well, see, I said that when we first saw the pictures. It's almost like they took a 2-up on a titanium Magnus.
It's the exact same well, not the exact same, but it's pretty darn close.
Same basic principles.
Yeah, the principles are all there.
Well, I haven't looked at the review or anything, but that may not be a bad thing if you don't want a actual separate Optimus figure.
He's just way too big for me. Way too big next to MP10. He's like, I guess another quarter size bigger.
Oh, I posted on Twitter today. I've been asked by like 4 or 5 people. Like, okay, Don, you're getting your headmaster, you're getting your RC. What are you gonna do next? Now that you're finally getting it, it's like, can I see some pictures first before we
It's already been pushed back to what, September?
Yeah. And so it's
Well,
like,
I'm not saying it's pushed. I'm not going to say it's pushed back. We finally got an accurate release date.
Yeah. Well, we should have known that first one wasn't accurate
Oh,
when
yeah.
it was Wave 5 and Wave
Exactly.
3 hadn't come out yet. So
Yeah. So it's
Yeah, you
like,
wonder who messed that up. You wonder if it was Hasbro that gave the wrong release date, or if you wonder if it was like Big Bad Toy Store that somehow, because they were the only ones that posted.
They
the
could have also
release
fat
date.
fingered it. I mean, they I don't know. 'Cause who knows how it actually
Yeah.
happened. Hey, people watching live, I'm going to kill the stream because I kind of have to. So we'll catch you later.
So it's
Bye.
like